In May 1983 I came here, and there were talks in the Oak Grove by Jiddu Krishnamurti. We came to listen. The Oak Grove is inside those woods there, and people would line up starting this point here in the morning. Actually, the first time I came, I slept here at night, and you wake up with the sound of a million birds singing. It was amazing. And so people would line up this area here, and then at some point, like around, I don't know, 9 o'clock or something, they would open these gates. On this side there was parking, so this whole area was parking because about 3,000 people would come. And I was actually helping with the parking. Sometimes we'd water it with hoses because otherwise it'd be too dusty. The gates would open, we'd just go here, and there was a ticket counter. Not really a ticket, because you could make a donation if you wanted to. And volunteers had a separate, had preferred seating. Like half of the front of the stage was for volunteers. And anyway, from being here early or volunteering, I was in the first row most of the talks. Then some time later, Krishnamurti would come. He would walk, actually he would be driven here usually by Mary Zimbalist, and he would just walk this path actually and just show up at the back of the stage. Very unassuming, very simple, no circus around him, just a simple guy walking up to a chair. There are many rabbits, squirrels. There's one right there. Chairs in the back, and in the front people would sit on the ground. Krishnamurti would speak between those two trees there. You see those two trees? Mm-hmm. So there was a little stage there with a chair on it and a microphone, that's all. And, well, a clip-on microphone. And then this entire area would be filled with people, and the trees would be filled with birds, and the sky would be filled with gentle breeze of May. And it was all one movement. So he sat between these two trees, and the audience would be close, really, really close up. So I was sitting like here, actually, like here once. You can see it in some of the videos from those years. And he would just sit there, put on the microphone. Somebody would put it on, sometimes Mr. Kishba or somebody else. And he would just look around. As you can see on the video, this is all there, and start speaking about the very subject that you had in mind. Usually starts about speaking about the situation in the world, the chaos that we live in, and gradually relate that back to our state of consciousness and how what we are makes the world what it is. And he would examine many of the contemporary issues and talk about several key items like nature of desire, nature of thought, role of beauty in life, nature of relationship, and gradually talk about some of the most fundamental areas like meditation, what is a religious mind, and at the end about the otherness or God or whatever you want to call it. He spoke about a wide range of topics, one of the most fundamental being education and the role of proper education in life. And he thought that it's only through good education that you can bring about new human beings who can then bring about a new world. And so he founded some schools around the world, not to teach his teachings, because his teachings are not a dogma or a doctrine by themselves. He's not some sort of a prophet or religious leader, or he's just a simple man, just a very intelligent man who looks around and looks at the problems of the world and looks at his own life, studies his own motives, his own behavior, his reactions, his relationships, and so on. So similarly with the educational situation, these schools don't necessarily teach his teachings. They teach just normal mathematics, chemistry, and all the sciences and literature and humanities and so on. But the approach is a little different. The approach has to do with more of a sense of freedom to explore and to learn out of that freedom, and the teacher and the student learning together. And also it lacks many of the brutal competitive spirits, and the spirit which is so prevalent in modern day education, which really destroys people. You know, the whole spirit of comparison, competition, and the brutality that goes with it. Nevertheless, these kids who graduate from these schools, they still end up in best of universities, and they do very well academically. So it's not really necessary to have this hard, brutal competitive spirit in order to excel. This is a K-12 school, from kindergarten to 12th grade, and it's an amazing place. I've known this school for many years and have played concerts here and volunteered for them and had a lot of interactions with the teachers and the staff and the students. Gave talks about different subjects and played music and so on. On that side is the elementary school and part of high school. On this side is the middle school, and this is the pavilion where they have music concerts and theater and so on. And there's also a residential campus. A few rooms on that side, I think, or at least there was, and another dorm on the other side of the trees there for students who come from far away and don't have a family in the area. A lot of people, or many people, have moved to Ojai just to send their kids to this school. It's such a good school, including sometimes movie stars and famous people. It's a private school, so one could say it's expensive, but it's worth every penny of it, and it's not more expensive than most other private schools. That's the beautiful pavilion.